You never listen! But where is it? Your money, your promotion, your house? Where is that which is so precious to you? Have you paid that kind Harding your debt? Have you repaid him with this plague that infects his wife?
I left for us, for our
For
future.
what? For what? For these things?
For you!
It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter! Don't you see? We should never have married. We are already dead!
Please! I should send for Dr. Severs.
No! No! Please. Please. I'll be good. I'll be good. I promise. I promise. You could never please me as he could.
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, and turn on all notifications so you know when I have a whole new video up. Tonight's video is going to be about signs of a narcissistic wife. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to go that angle or the angle that are men only seen as being narcissists and not women. I know I did some other videos talking about this particular thing right here, and I know that there are a lot of people that throw that narcissistic word around, and it does not apply to everyone. A person may have narcissistic traits, or maybe as a term or as levels that you have narcissistic light, narcissistic mid, and narcissistic heavy. I'm not sure. Just throwing that out there. The same way that I will hear certain people say, I'm an empath. And I always find it funny when someone pronounces themselves a certain thing that people hold in high regard. For example, in the NBA right now, there's a tug of war with who is the GOAT. There's a lot of people that will say Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And then there are a slew of people that will say LeBron James. Then there's some people that will say Bill Russell. Some people that will say Kareem. Even Wilt. The thing is, I think outside people watching you perform, watching you do your craft, or watching you live your life, to a large degree can say what you are. Not that you have to accept it, because a lot of people could be saying, oh, he's a loser. But I do think you don't listen to people that don't really know, but people that, well, that don't really know you. But people that have been observing you, that are in your life, I do think they have, there's weight to their opinion. So if there are, in that basketball case, for Michael Jordan to say that he is the GOAT or LeBron James to say that he is the GOAT, I think that's in bad taste. Let your peers decide who the GOAT is, not you yourself. So when a person says that they are an empath, sometimes I have to wonder, and this is not what this video is about, but I do think there are people with narcissistic traits or full narcissists that will say that they are empaths, and that is not true. And there are some people that will announce that they are narcissists. Now, of course, though, it's kind of for gain because they have a YouTube channel. Yet, I do give more credit if a person is saying something that a lot of people look down upon and claiming that. And not claiming it in a proud way of like, that's just the way I am. They're realizing how negative they are in people's lives that they have touched. So I have this creator. I do not know this woman's name, but she's about to speak on traits of the narcissistic wife. So let's look at that now, and I'll be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. As you know, I'm Coach Liliya. I'm a relationship coach and a narcissist abuse survivor myself. And I know I haven't posted on here in a while. I really want to take the focus on narcissistic women, okay? Because these are mothers that raise children that are severely traumatized. There are so many men that are being domestically abused that are, we don't talk about it enough because men don't talk about it. And, you know, we typically think of a narcissist as somebody who's a male, grandiose person, right? With zero empathy, of course. But we need to talk more about how narcissism is manifested in women. Today, I want to talk to you about how does a narcissistic wife treat her husband in a marriage or a domestic relationship, right? As long as it's like a long-term relationship where they're living together for a number of years. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Number one, you as the male, you will always feel like the problem. I have clients that ask me all the time, am I the problem? Am I the narcissist? Is it my fault? No, it's not your fault, okay? This is exactly how an abuser wants you to feel in that relationship. They will basically blame you for everything. They will always be unsatisfied. You will always feel like you're disappointing them all the time, and you're gonna think it's your fault, and you're gonna try harder, and she's gonna basically embarrass you more. She's going to take away your manhood. She's always going to explain things to you like you're a little child, you know, like if you're drying the dishes, why did you?
Okay, let me add this one thing from personal experience. A woman's not going to do this at the beginning of the relationship. Now, whether you want to say the person is love bombing or not, what I usually think generally happens is when people first meet, everything's new, even for a narcissist person or a person that have narcissistic traits. You will see the best version of them at the very beginning. And not to say everyone doesn't hide things or put their best foot forward or something, but in people that have narcissistic traits or full on narcissists, I don't think I came across too many full narcissists that was women. I think maybe it was two that I know of that actually, well, okay, I'm being a little too kind there. I'm not going to say they are cool people, but the thing is, I do respect their honesty. Would I date them? Hell no. And if someone was to ask me about them that was a friend of mine, I would be like, hell no. Someone that I don't know, it's like, well, you go ahead and see. And I know for me, I'm sometimes the person that I can kind of empathize with, where a person has been through things, or I can see their family life or see their strained relationship with their dad. I may think I can come in and fix and heal that. I guess the same way how women will think that they can fix a guy, men similar like me will think that, especially if she is attractive. Okay, we're not going to act like being attracted to a person does not play a part in this, but I'll look at her and I'll be like, and I'll see some good in her because there'll be some things that the woman may be doing. And I'm not saying full on narcissist, but see, I'm trying to emphasize that sometimes a person is not a full on narcissist. Maybe they have narcissistic traits from maybe their family or upbringing or whatever was going on in their life. And then when you get in a relationship with them, then you may see this full blown years later. And when they start attacking you after you saw the good in them, you might think, okay, maybe by being better or not sharing as much or doing something differently, I can get her back to that nice, kind person in the beginning. And I'm here to tell you that never works. Okay, that never works. Maybe in some galaxy far away, or some people may have instances that has worked for them, but that's never worked for me. And I'm that person that will usually try to, especially if it's a attractive woman, I would try to love the toxicity out of her if I saw the good side of her in the beginning of the relationship. Okay, let her continue.
Put them here. Or if you buy something that's a brand that she doesn't like, why did you buy this brand? I don't like this. Like, it's always going to be that nagging, nothing's ever good enough, there's never going to be that good job, thank you so much. No, you're never going to hear that. Everything you do is going to be incorrect, and you will believe it, and you will truly feel like you're the problem in the relationship. So please, if you're the man that's suffering from this kind of abuse, I want to tell you right now, it's not your fault she's making you feel like this on purpose. Number two is that this woman is always going to be against you. She's always going to take the side against you. She's never going to be your true partner, okay? She's going to do this to embarrass you. She's going to do this to basically, once again, take away your manhood. Like, she's never treating you as a partner, as an equal. She's always against you because she doesn't trust you, because she doesn't know how to trust. Because remember, narcissistic people in general, they never feel safe in their relationship, ever, because they never had that attachment that was secure in their childhood. Therefore, she's not going to have that with you. So she's always going to be skeptical of everything and basically never support you in anything. Because why? She has to be against you because clearly she can't trust you. That's all built up in her head. The third one is very common, is that this woman, especially if she was using sexuality to manipulate you in the beginning, right? Now she's going to take away that affection fully, and she's going to make you feel guilty for wanting to be intimate with her. And why is she doing this? Well, first of all, so that you feel like something's wrong with you for wanting to be physical with your wife, which is, it's crazy to think about, because you will truly believe like you're the problem, like there's something wrong with you. And then that's also going to lead you to complete isolation and loneliness, because every time you try, she's going to say things like, not again, not right now. It's going to come off in a way where you once again will feel like it's your problem and you shouldn't be trying to be intimate with your wife because she doesn't want you. And then this woman's going to prevent you from having any friends, especially if these are female friends, but any friends in general. Why? Because she doesn't want you to have a support system. You having friends is a threat to her, that you might leave, that somebody might open your eyes and show you that you are in this control freak situation, okay? So basically, there's going to be a problem with any person that you want to hang out with, right?
Okay, I agree with her totally here. But see, with this particular thing here, don't go all the way to the extreme. Because I've seen and I've made videos about how, mostly with women, but I'm pretty sure this happens with men. But see, men are more individualists and they usually try to think for themselves, even if it's in a negative way. It will be rare that one of their friends comes into a relationship and fucks it up, unless if that man ends up banging his wife. Otherwise, it's not going to be a guy whispering in his ear like, hey, leave your girl is bad or something. if he's a real foul leader and a bunch of his friends is doing that, yes, he may do that. And usually it may be because maybe she doesn't look a certain kind of way. But if a man is set his eyes on a woman, the Travis Hunter thing proves this completely. No matter who is saying what, he will not, he will take his woman's side. Now, the dynamic that's similar in the Travis Hunter thing is that while his woman kind of doesn't allow him to have female friends and such like that, and a lot of women do that, not just narcissistic women, unless if you're saying all women are narcissists. A lot of women do that, but they want to have their male and female friends. And I think you should be able to have friends. Both genders should be able to have friends, but your friends should not come into the middle of your relationship and fuck it up. Okay, if you are valuing your friends now at the early part of the relationship, I kind of get it because your friends have always been there. But once they get married, once they move and stuff like that, they're gonna go live their own lives. Similar how you're raising your kids, everybody's gonna go off and live their own lives. That person that you are in a relationship with, especially that you marry, that's the person that you should be ride or die with. So they should always be above everybody else outside of the relationship. That's my personal thing with that. If you want it to last, unless if you have a relationship that you have a lot of mutual friends, and I think that's the safest way to have a bunch of friends. That way you don't have things happening behind the scenes that you don't know, like two people are flirting and doing things like that. So I don't think a person should come into your life and seal all your friends away that you can't talk to or be around after you've already did that most of your life. But at the same time, you should value the relationship to have boundaries with your friends. And the other person shouldn't have to tell you this. You should automatically know. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in because I know a lot of times women will particularly say this thing right here, and she's right. Because I know an ex of mine did that to me, but she had plenty of guy friends. And of course, some of those friends were already there, and then were also with the hobby that she was in. But who's to say that wasn't flirting and stuff going on in those spaces? Whereas when I had female interactions, and sometimes it was flirty, but most of the time it was talk about art stuff, she would come in and just blow that up. How's that fair?
Right? Any friendship that you try to make, she's gonna find something. Whether they're a loser, whether she doesn't like their behavior, whatever it may be, there's gonna be a problem with that person. Another thing she might do is that she's gonna pick somebody from your life that she knows you'll never have a friendship with and say, "Why don't you go hang out with Joe? I like Joe." And she knows that you're never going to hang out with Joe, but she's basically trying to manipulate the situation, saying that I'm not preventing you from having friends. I just don't want you to have bad friends because I look out for you and I care that much. And then if you ever have a problem with any of her friends, then guess what? You're being controlling. And that's the kind of double standard that this woman is constantly going to run against her husband. Number 5, okay? She lives in that fantasy land where you're not good enough for her and she could have done better, but for some reason she didn't, right? So you're always going to hear from her things like, I should have married, this guy, or I never should have married you. I just should have listened to my family. Why did I settle for you?
Wow.
You're such a loser. You're going to hear this repeatedly, and it's going to chip away from you so much because, again, this woman is going to live in this fantasy land, and she's going to basically tell you that you're not good enough for her. And this actually might motivate you to try harder, to basically maybe go after that position that she wants you to go after, make more money because she wants more money all the time. Nothing's ever good enough, nothing's ever enough in general. And at that time, she might stop with these remarks when you're working so hard to basically please her, to basically live up to her expectation. However, once that stopped, that chipping away is going to start again. Number 6, this woman truly blames you for everything that happened in her life. Like, all of her past traumas are now your fault. So she literally blames you for these things in her head, and she thinks that she needs to get back at you for them. So you're going to turn into her emotional punching bag, and you're not even going to know why, because it's not about what you did. It's maybe about somebody that abused her in the past, like her parents or maybe an ex-boyfriend or whoever it may be. So she will try to get back at you very directly. She might do something like run a credit card debt with your financials. And then if you find out about it and confront her about it, she's going to say, well, at least now we're even because you did so and so and so. Because again, these people are very delusional. They build up these narratives in their head. And if you try to convince her otherwise, you're only going to receive gaslighting, manipulation, passive aggressiveness, and so on and so on. So there you have it.
A lot of people don't know this, but the best way to prevent divorce, stop separation, and win your wife back is not talking about your problems. It's not trying to make your wife happy. It's definitely not seeing a couples therapist. Now, you may be saying to yourself right now, well, if it's not those things, then what is it? But over the past 8 years as a licensed therapist, I've been absolutely obsessed with understanding why wives truly leave their husbands and what causes
we're not
couples
doing
to
that.
restore their marriage.
The next one here is that there's always going to be this queen-servant dynamic, okay? Not queen and king dynamic. No, it's more that she's the queen and you're working for her. So you're going to find yourself reporting to this woman on everything. She's staying at home, you bring home the paycheck, you're giving the paycheck to her. If you have any spending at all, you report that to her. Why did you buy this? Why did you buy this? Why did you buy this? You're going to hear this from her all the time because you are not in charge of making your decisions. You're working for her. Remember that? It's a servant and queen dynamic. So, man, if you feel like you have to report about your finances, about things that you spend to your wife, I'm not talking about making decisions together, sharing what you want to buy. No, I'm talking about when you have the necessity to report to her and she lashes out on you and criticizes you on things that you want to make decisions on your own. That's a problem, okay? That's control because you're not working for her. You're a grown man. So get that out of your head that it's normal for you to report to her. Number 8, okay, this woman is going to be a blame shifting expert. How so? Well, whatever she does wrong, whatever problem she makes, it's still going to be your fault and you're truly going to believe it. Just boom, she's going to shift that blame onto you. And once again, you're going to be so traumatized by the time she starts doing this that you will just take that blame and you're going to say, yep, I'm the problem. Everything's my fault. And this is what most of my clients are experiencing. Once again, it's not your fault. Her problems are not your problems. Okay, you're not responsible for her problems. You need to get that in your head. Number 9, just like any narcissist, she's going to be emotionally absent, right? So it's going to be like talking to a person with no soul, like just a black mirror. And when you try to communicate to her something, when she hurts you, there's going to be zero remorse. And when you try to have a conversation with her about the emotional level, right, she's going to say something like, what do you want from me? We're talking. How much more do you want from me? Why is she doing this? Because remember, narcissists, they have nothing to give. There's nothing inside. She's empty because back in the day, she was made to suppress all of those emotions, okay? Having emotions meant shame, and shame is bad. So she was shamed for feeling, for having emotions, for showing emotions. So you can't expect that out of a woman that doesn't have it in her. And last but not least, you're gonna hear a lot of threats about her divorcing you, leaving you, blah, 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 okay? That's gonna become something very normal in your relationship. You're gonna get used to it. It's still gonna chip away from you, but get used to hearing about those threats of her leaving you, okay? Now, I hope this information is helpful for you guys. I really want you to understand what's going on in your relationship. I want you to stop blaming yourself. Please get help because these are very toxic dynamics. It's trauma bond that is so hard to break on your own. I do offer one-on-one coaching. You can schedule that with me. Link is in my bio. And of course, if you like this content, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. I am Coach Liliya, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Okay, her name's Coach Liliya. That was one of the first times I came across her channel. and I forget how many subscribers she has, but she has good content. And I always like when women are a little bit more balanced. A lot of times I can hear when a woman is man hating in her content, when she's just spewing out things right there. And I had to do this video because I haven't did one on mental disorders in a while. But as I believe, most people believe that only narcissists can be men, and that is false. Okay, maybe narcissists, men and women, move differently. I think women move more in a manipulative, social, campaign smearing type of way. Okay, because one of the ways and one of the superpowers of a woman, especially certain nationalities of women, white women, is if one was to come and lie and say that you did something that you did not do. Actually, I need to do a video on this. A man could go to jail, lose his life, especially depending on what nationality that he is, especially if he's black. But even if he's white, such in the Johnny Depp case, and even with recorded evidence, he still lost the initial case. It was only years later with what? Was it the civil case? That he was able to get some retribution with that particular thing right there. So, yeah, this gender stuff is like weird. This is why I can't always go with the patriarchy type of thing. Is the fact that a lot of men are in charge or in power imply because that gender is mostly empowered, that it is a patriarchy? I guess so, but I can't say that it always just benefits men. Maybe it benefits more certain nationalities of men, and even to a higher tier, it benefits men that have higher status and power, money, influence. It benefits those types of men. But see, at the same time, women, they get money, influence, power, can also have that same type of ability to do that. So I think we live in more of a mixture type of patriarch, and yet wait, patriarch, matriarch, race, status, and that's probably at the top, because at the top I believe it goes by status, then it probably goes by your gender to a degree, but nothing trumps the status and money. That's definitely at the top, because you can't tell me a woman that doesn't have a lot of status and money is going to be influenced by a man of a lower tier. And then we can get into race relations, which I know other nationalities don't like to really talk about now at this weird time. And of course, my culture will sometimes cry it all the time. So both are right. It is racism, but it's not everywhere. It's not with everything. And women are right with saying, okay, it's chauvinist things going on, but it's not everywhere, it's not all the time. And that's what usually gets under my skin when a person is saying it's all the time. So coming back to what this video is really about, not all men are narcissists, okay? And not all women are innocent, empaths, okay? I think especially now, because women have got a taste of power, or they know the powers that they have in this society now, a lot of them have become more narcissists. And even if people are not full on narcissists, they have certain narcissistic traits. Because I can see a person that's not totally dead inside and cold, they can seem to have feelings and compassion, but at the same time, they can be really down and dirty, either behind the scenes, behind closed doors, putting on a different persona in front of other people out there, so people will think that they are a certain kind of way, but yet they are not. That's why I don't always go with people that are smiling. Like, I prefer people to be a nice person. Like, those are the people that I vibe with. But do not be fake. If that's not you, I'd rather you just be the asshole. That way I just will avoid you. Or even if you are more of a, because everybody has a different personality. Some people are just more direct individuals, but yet they have a big heart. Those people I like. Okay, I may not like always how they say something or how they approach things, but their heart is in the right place. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So give me a like and subscribe. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. I have plenty of other videos that you can see, like my last one. And I'll see you later.
Rula, are you married?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Is he happy?
Oh, that's a weird question. Usually they ask if I'm happy.
Yeah, but like, it's a different kind of an interview. I'm just, because he's not here, like, I want to show my care for him as well. Is he happy? Your answer is yes, no? You don't wanna answer that question?
No.
I think it's okay. I think we got the answer.
Who we?
That's me and the camera guy. You got it, bro?
Yeah.
Well, fuck you, Yash. And fuck you.
I'm a narcissist.
This was a stupid idea.
You're the one who wanted to play.
They're coming! They're coming now!